Plants in the city, halls in the street, tells out right to an urban beat. From the dogs and the cats to the parakeets, all of us, we all never see. Fins and feathers and scales and birds, critters and squeak and chip and purr, wagging their tails to an urban beat. Yes, we all know the sweet.
I'm at the Raptor Trust in Morris County, and behind me are red-tailed hawks and black vultures. Now, these are both urban birds. You find them in urban centers. They live in our parks, they nest on the ledges of our buildings, and sometimes when they come in contact with human beings, the results can be catastrophic. That's why there's places like this, the Raptor Trust, a facility dedicated to the rescue and rehabilitation of birds of prey. The Raptor Trust is one of the foremost wild bird rehabilitation centers in the United States. The facility includes an avian hospital, an indoor infirmary, and numerous exterior aviaries that accommodate several hundred birds. This Cooper's hawk was rescued from a warehouse in a densely populated urban area. Today, the hawk will be released. As Executive Director Chris Sawicki explained, the successful rehabilitation and return of these birds to the wild is the ultimate goal of the Trust.
I love birds. I don't want to keep them all here. I want to get them out of here.
Yeah. You've got a ton of them here. So how many birds here at any given time?
It depends on the season, between 3,000 and 4,000 a year.
Not just birds of prey, but all types of birds are rehabilitated at the Raptor Trust. This little cardinal fell from its nest and would likely not have survived if it hadn't been brought here. The same is true for these baby mourning doves. During breeding season, up to 100 injured and orphaned birds per day arrive at the Trust.
All right, let me get him settled and then I'll be right back to you.
Spring and summer are the busy seasons because we get so many orphans that have just fallen out of nests. They don't necessarily need a lot of medical care, but they need constant feeding and cleaning. So there are our staff balloons. In the summertime, we have as many as 80 volunteers and a dozen staff here during the summer to take care of what can be hundreds of birds at a time, sometimes 100 a day.
But the Raptor Trust is nationally recognized for its specialty in birds of prey. Increasingly, the territories of these raptors overlap the habitats of mankind, resulting in potentially lethal intersections between the fast-moving predators and the buildings and vehicles of an urban landscape. As a result, a continuous succession of falcons, eagles, owls, vultures, and hawks find their way through the Raptor Trust, where their injuries are tended by a highly skilled avian medical staff. Okay, now in this particular enclosure is a Cooper's hawk that flew into a building. It had head injuries and it injured its eye, so every day they take it out and they have to put cream in the eye, so we're going to watch as they do that.
He's on to us. He doesn't want to play this game anymore.
Now, how would a hawk hit a building? Like, what would cause
Cooper's
that to happen?
hawks are bird eaters, so usually they hit a building because they're chasing another bird in pursuit, and they fly so fast that they can't stop. They hit windows all the time. So we put a tail guard on these guys so they have a very long rudder-like tail. We put a tail guard on to protect it, especially when they have CNS symptoms, because he was rolling around, he would have snapped his tail, and then his tail would take a whole year to molt in a new tail.
Those tail feathers are necessary for flight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The way he has to steer to maneuver to chase his prey.
Right.
I'm going over here, sorry.
And this, of course, is a wild hawk, and this is not something he's tolerating too well.
No, right? He's hating every minute of this, but we're going to go fast and get it done. See, he banged his eye a little bit. It's almost healed, but we're just treating it with ointment so that he doesn't get a corneal ulcer. Okay?
If the birds are not ready for immediate release after recuperating in the infirmary wing, they are progressed to larger outdoor aviaries so that they can better transition back to the wild. A young red-tailed hawk, who also sustained an eye injury, will be taken outside today.
And he is so ready to go out. He is not pleased.
It's interesting for such a large bird that the sound that they make is almost
well, he's a baby, so
oh.
But they all kind of make that sound. But this is a young of the year, a hatching year red tail. It's He has the striped tail as opposed to a red tail. He won't get his red tail until next year after he molts, end of next summer.
He's magnificent, though.
He's
magnificent. Okay, so again, this is a red-tailed hawk that was injured in a motor vehicle collision.
Side of the road,
hurt his eye, essentially, and he's been here in the infirmary wing, and now he's to the point where he's able to get outside into a flight cage.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to take him out there right now.
Right now.
Okay, let's go.
I'm going to cover his head so he doesn't get too stressed out.
And you think of a hawk as being, you know, so astute in terms of vision. You wouldn't think that so many of them would get hit by cars. What happens? They swoop down?
What happens is they hone in on their prey and sort of everything else goes away.
Okay.
And they'll feed along the side of roads where the rodents are drawn because people throw garbage out.
You do see them all along the road.
So they get an eye on something and they're just zooming in to catch it. They're not looking both ways.
And they never evolved, really, to have to worry about cars.
Deal with highways? Not yet.
Right, exactly. And you'll notice that these enclosures are actually made of wooden slats as opposed to wire because they can injure themselves on the wire, right?
Right.
Okay.
So we're going to put him, there's a bird over here, so we've got to be kind of quiet, but we're going to put him in this chamber right here.
Go ahead, Phil.
So you're going to need to shut the double door eventually so I can let him go. All right. Now, keep it like that, because you might need to dive out of here. He might just start jumping around. We don't want him on our heads.
Exactly. Okay. Right.
Okay, I think he's
good. No, he's good.
He's going to be good.
Several years ago, a red-tailed hawk like this little guy became quite famous in New York City. The bird, who was named Pale Male, lived in Central Park and unknowingly found himself at the center of an international controversy because of his nest on the ledge of a luxury high-rise where two well-known celebrities resided. And many other birds of prey at the Raptor Trust, albeit less famous, hail from similarly urban backgrounds, like the kestrel. Many of these little hawks have been found in some of the most densely populated cities in the country.
Almost all of the kestrels that we had this year came from urban areas. Some from Elizabeth, some from Jersey City. They've just adapted pretty well to living in urban areas, and they're cool. They're all kind of sitting up there.
Beautiful, beautiful little hawks. They are absolutely gorgeous. I've always loved sparrowhawks. As we always called them sparrowhawks when I was a kid. But I've always loved them. And these, again, all of them are from urban areas.
Yeah, they've just adapted pretty well to living in urban areas, but it does make it tough when that first flight they take, they don't get to land in a tree. They get to land on, Central Avenue somewhere.
Raptors as small as the kestrel and as great and majestic as the bald eagle are all finding their niche in the urban jungle. This pair of eagles are from Maine and Alaska and are permanent residents of the Trust because of their injuries. But even these once rare creatures, whom we associate with purple mountains and amber waves of grain, are becoming increasingly common on the mechanized urban landscape, as we were soon to witness firsthand.
Hey, Tony?
Yeah.
East Brunswick Animal Control just brought us a baby bald eagle. So that's pretty urban.
Hi,
how you doing?
Good.
Joanne.
Joanne,
Hi,
nice to meet you. So you've got
Good to see you.
baby bald eagle.
Sure did.
Okay, where was he found?
The East Brunswick, the Edgewater landfill in East Brunswick.
Okay, and how was he captured?
Well, we used a net to kind of block his path from one end, and I was able to lay a blanket over him from the backside and just kind of gently lift him up using very heavy gloves.
Kathy says you can take a quick peek, and that's all.
Okay.
If you want to, or if you need to get back to work.
I'm gonna have to charm Kathy so we can get more than a quick peek at this guy, because this is cool stuff. I mean, I'm sure it's not often you get an eagle coming in here that we just happen to be here at that time. We got very lucky.
And here we have a juvenile bald eagle.
And is he injured?
We don't really know yet. He just came in, so we're going to give him an hour or so in this intensive care unit to just calm down in case he's in a little shock, and then the medical team will make a full evaluation. Best case scenario is he's not injured and is maybe just not quite ready to fly and hunt on his own. If that's the case, we can just kind of feed him for a couple weeks, fatten him up, give him an opportunity to learn how to hunt, and hopefully he'll be off and flying in the wild real soon.
Awesome, awesome. What a beautiful, magnificent creature. And you think he's going to, I heard it was a baby bald eagle. I was expecting him to be a little chick, but he's a sizable sizable bird.
Even a baby bald eagle is still pretty big.
He's big. He's big.
Good luck, guy.
Okay, good luck. But back to the little kestrels. Today, 5 of them, 4 from Manhattan and 1 from Jersey City, will be returned to the wild. Their release is also part of a rite of passage for Raptor Trust interns, who played an active role in the rearing of these birds and who will now be able to participate in their release. Okay, so these are Kestrels Sparrowhawks, and you guys are the interns who actually had a hand in rehabilitating them at the Raptor Trust, and now we're setting them free, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do we do it one at a time?
All together.
All together? Okay. Now, an interesting thing about these birds is they all come from urban centers. They're from Jersey City and Manhattan, right, Chris?
Yep.
Okay.
Try to get him to go that way. This kingbird's in for a nasty surprise. 3, 2, 1.
What a beautiful sight to see those birds fly off into freedom.
They did it!